For a long time, the need was being felt in Mumbai of a cricket stadium with comfortable seating capacity. Well, that need likely being fulfilled from unlikely quarters from an educationist. Vijay Patil, son of Padma Shri Dr. D.Y. Patil, who has set up a wonderful educational complex at Nerul near Vashi, dreamt of a cricket stadium, and now the dream is close to being a reality. A 60,000-seater capacity stadium is coming up at Nerul near Vashi on the outskirts of Mumbai. So, Mr. Patil, how did this idea germinate?
No, really, right since a very young age, my father has always inculcated in all of us, my brother and my sisters, the importance of sports. So since very early age, I was very passionate about sports, whether it be cricket, football, tennis. And like any other boy growing up at that point of time, I used to follow and play cricket also at the school level, at the club level. I also got an opportunity to travel to various places in India and abroad. I watched a lot of matches, a lot of games in India, at the Braeburn, at Wankhede Stadium, at Eden Gardens also I had opportunity to watch a match. And then subsequently in England, in Australia. And, so the love affair continued. And it was only in about 2000, 2001, I got this unique opportunity to put up a sports complex in Navi Mumbai. And I also had opportunity to visit a number of universities in India and abroad. And there I found out that, sports infrastructure was a very integral part of the entire development of that university. So, so it was a series of events and, the impressions which I carried on from a very young age. That is what has actually culminated in this sports complex being created at Navi Mumbai.
Mr. Patil, your father was an educationist. Was it tough convincing him to get into sport?
No, not really, because he's, in fact, he was very supportive when I when the decision to build a stadium came up. He was extremely supportive of that decision. And in fact, I consider that, we were very fortunate that he permitted me to, embark on this, I would like to use the word journey, and he was very kind and supportive, and he, he supported me all the way. And he's always been inclined towards sports, so it was not very difficult at that point of time. And as I said earlier, that sports forms a very integral part of any development of a university. We feel that it's a very important component of any educational training institution, whether it's in India or abroad. And it creates vitality on the campus. And I think it's very essential for, particularly the youth population, students and others who grow, at for them to be exposed to physical education and sports. So I think it was a very natural extension for what we were already doing in the field of education.
It's a big project, big finance needed. Was it tough getting finance for the project?
Yeah, I would say it was a challenge because, initially when we approached a number of banks in terms of funding and funding this particular facility, so there was a basic reluctance because it was like an unknown entity, and people, bankers quite didn't know where the revenues would actually arrive from. But, we sort of leveraged all our various facilities which we have created on our campuses in Mumbai, Pune and in Kolhapur. And, we managed to convince Abudaya Cooperative Bank, and they were very kind enough to fund this, the construction of the stadium. And, and since then we've been able to successfully complete the stadium at Nerul, Navi Mumbai.
Cricket is a driving force for you, we know. Are you going to have other sports in this project?
Yeah, I've been probably biased would be a little bit of an understatement, but I have cricket, of course, has been one of the things that I've really felt very strongly about. But I've also followed tennis and football and, some really memorable sporting occasions. As growing up, we idolized on Diego Maradona, and in tennis we followed Borg and McEnroe. So, it's really been wonderful to follow all our sporting heroes.
We've seen in the past that big stadia, especially like Asian Games and Balewadi complex in Pune, become white elephants after those events. What about this stadium?
Absolutely, because I feel that we are going to create a model over here which will be adapted and which will be adopted by other organizations, other universities around. Because, as I said right at the start, there's a great synergy between educational institutions and the sports facilities which we put up. So I feel that it creates also, a better brand identity for your educational institutions, because that's one way by which you can differentiate between other universities and other educational institutions. So I don't necessarily think that it's a white elephant. And then today's sports is an industry, so it's no longer, just something which people look up to for recreation, or where, you just have athletes participating in the various events. So there are many aspects to sports. So as I said, it's not just about participation in various national and international events. There is an industry which is associated with it. There's a management of sports which is involved. There is a area of event management in sports. Today even sports is looked as entertainment. So there are numerous diverse perspectives to sports. So I'm quite sure that in the times to come, sports will no longer be looked at as a white elephant.
You looked at faculties abroad, like sports universities, on which you want to model this academy.
Yeah, we've looked at many different facilities. As I said, I had opportunity to visit England, and I had opportunity to. I studied in Australia for 2 years on the Gold Coast. So we are looking at different universities. We are looking at tying up with different universities who have their strengths in the area of sports, so that we can start educational curriculum programs in sports science, in sports management. There's also an aspect of sports medicine, which is extremely important for the development of sports and sports infrastructure. So yeah, we are looking at creating academic linkages in the area of sports with different universities around the world.
There's a dire need in India for AstroTurf hockey stadium. I believe you had plans for that as well.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the I might say the little regret which I have as far as this facility is concerned, because somehow we could not get the required space that is necessary to put an AstroTurf. But given an opportunity and enough, in the future, that's something which we'll definitely address, and we'll look forward to, creating the necessary facility for hockey also. Because I think it's a wonderful sport and it needs to be encouraged, and it's something which we also look forward to contributing at.
And the 2020 match really put you on the map of Mumbai's cricketing map, really. Tell us about how you went about your first 2020
game.
Yeah,
actually it's quite an interesting story. It was like Abby Kuruvilla, sports director, and this was about 4 years ago when 2020 was not really the rage that it is today. So when we initiated it, it was being played at that point of time in England. So we thought that would be an interesting concept to to create a tournament of that kind over here in Navi Mumbai. Primarily at that point of time, the idea was to get good sides to play in this part of Mumbai, and so that the students, the people around in this region could get an opportunity to watch really good quality athletes in action on a common platform. So that was originally the idea, but since the last 3 years, it's been wonderful to see the way that the tournament has progressed, and the kind of active participation that we've had from various sides, and the cooperation that we have received from, whether it's from the Mumbai Cricket Association, the Board of Cricket Control in India. So it's been wonderful for us. It's been really encouraging for all of us with who are involved in the coordination of the tournament.
And you had a day-night game. You had to really turn people off from the final day.
Yeah, it was quite a sight for us, because you don't normally expect that kind of crowd for a domestic tournament where your national side isn't playing. So to have about 40-50,000 people streaming into the stadium was something, a sight which was really wonderful to see.
And the big question is, when will first-class cricket come at this stadium?
Well, that's something which we've made a proposal to Mumbai Cricket Association and the Board of Cricket Control in India, and they've been quite positive about our proposal, and I'm sure that in the times to come that they will definitely consider this as a venue for national as well as international matches. And in fact, the president of the Board of Cricket Control in India, Pawar Sahib, has made the kind of initiatives which he has taken to spread the sport in different regions of this country. So this particular facility fits into his long-term vision, and that goal which the BCCI has, to take the game to other areas, to areas where people and sportsmen are not exposed to that high-level action. So I think this facility which we have created here will definitely be appreciated and put to good use by the administrators concerned.
When it comes to international cricket, the ICC hits parameters, airport close to the ground and 5-star hotels in the vicinity. Do you think your stadium meets these parameters?
Not really, because we comply with all the ICC requirements that are there to stage one-day internationals as well as other matches. And Navi Mumbai is now an emerging city, so you're really 45-50 minutes across Vashi Creek, and there have been other venues where probably a lot longer time of travel was involved. Yes. In terms of going to different test match or international match venues. So I don't see that as a problem, and we have the new airport which is coming up. There are a number of 5-star hotels which have opened up in this particular area. So I would not